Good morning, everybody. Elliot has told me that he ordered up finally some warm weather for us. It looks like it might come true. Thank you, Elliot.
You're welcome, sir.
So to kick the meeting off, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation by Pastor Luke Stockland. You ready to roll?
You can go right there, Pastor. You can do prayer first.
Yeah, prayer first, please.
All right, would you bow with me and let's pray. God, we acknowledge your authority over us. We truly are one nation under God. And this morning I was meditating and thinking about King Jehoshaphat in the Old Testament, and when they were at war and they were surrounded by the enemy and outnumbered, and he prayed a very famous prayer, and he said that we are outnumbered and we are powerless against our enemy, and we don't even know what to do, but he said our eyes are on you. And so God, I don't think that this committee or that we are surrounded by physical enemies, but there are spiritual enemies, and there are difficulties and hurdles that have to be overcome. And sometimes we don't know what to do, and the path isn't clear. So God, I pray for this meeting and for all those that are making decisions that we would all keep our eyes on you and never lose sight of the big picture and be appreciative of your watch and your care over us. So we commit this meeting to you and ourselves to you. We thank you for your love for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor. The Prince of Travel is up next. Elliot.
Good morning, everybody. The second item on the agenda, I wanted to introduce Commissioner Ray Turner, and I'm excited. This is a person that was appointed by the governor when Commissioner Ball resigned recently. So he'll have be in the Lakewood Ranch District and spending some time with Commissioner Turner. I'll tell you what, he's a great listener, and I know in my heart his objective is to utilize the experts around him, the resources around him, to make responsible decisions. So I feel we're blessed to have him as our TDC chair. He wholeheartedly embraces what we do, why we do, when we do it, and we're going to have some fun making some really good business decisions this year. So Commissioner Turner, welcome. Look forward to working with you, and I'm going to turn it over to you, sir.
Well, thank you for that nice introduction. We have TDC member introductions next. What do we do? Go around the table here, Elliot? Let's start over there.
Jiten Patel, Doubletree Bradenton, Sarasota Airport. Not a Holiday Inn, former Holiday Inn.
Ed Childs, Sandbar Beach House in Mar Vista.
Shirley Groover Bryant, Mayor at City of Palmetto.
Gene Brown, Mayor, City of Bradenton.
Ray Turner, Commissioner for District 5.
Norma Kennedy, interested citizen.
Elliot Falcioni, Tourism Director, Manatee County.
Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes. Do we, I guess we just take a vote, right?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve? Yeah, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you. Next up is a special award presentation from Elliot.
Kind of want to come to the lectern here. We wanted to add this to the agenda today. This is a long time coming. Every once in a while you reflect on people that you work with over the years, people that are leaders in our industry. I think that you all would agree that a great leader is one that is not self-righteous, that's not afraid to make decisions, that is a calming force during adversarial occurrences, earns the respect of others, earns the trust of others, and isn't afraid to get his or her nails dirty in any given day. So this award is going to be called a Lifetime Achievement Award. And quite candidly, we've never given one of these out in the history of the TDC, but I couldn't find a better person after talking with the industry to give it to. But before I announce the name, I got somebody better that will do a better job announcing this person, who has been like a brother to me, was the first person that came to me when I was appointed director. I don't even know how many years ago, probably 15 years ago. And John Horn has never said no to me, anything that I needed in good times and in bad. So John, if you can come up, and John's going to just say a few words about this person that we're going to acknowledge, and then Commissioner Turner will ask you to come down for a picture with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, the esteemed John Horn.
Thank you very, very much for having me come up, because it is an honor to represent the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. And one of the best parts about being chairman of the board is events like this, to acknowledge part of our people. And I don't know how many of y'all have met this person, but man, did we have to boondoggle her to get her here. So we're fortunate to have in our area and in our state, Danette Lynch working as our regional director. And so Danette was told that I was getting an award, and that's the only reason she came today. So she has no idea this is happening. But Danette has been our regional director. She's worked with the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. Before that, she worked with the Rowdies when they first started. She has a track record of hospitality, of helping our state, of helping our area. And so I think it's fabulous that you guys have taken the time to acknowledge Danette. And so we have a lot of people from the hospitality industry, from hoteliers, restaurateurs, and from Allied, from people that work with the industry. So we're honored to all be here and join you in welcoming Danette Lynch as a Lifetime Achievement Award from the TDC. So thank you all.
Thank you.
John, we'll get some pictures. Why don't we ask Danette to give a long speech, and then we'll ask Commissioner Turner to come down as well. Danette, it's all yours.
Well, thanks everybody to lying to me. I was up all night trying to find nice words to say about John Horn, and so that kind of blew that. I am so honored. This area means more to me than you can imagine. What we've had the opportunity through Florida Restaurant and Lodging, through me, through soccer, that we've had the opportunity to work with on my personal life. And I can't thank you enough. My members, your hospitality partners here, I'm having a heart attack, are absolutely amazing. And watching the growth of particularly the Manatee, Bradenton area has been amazing, and it just has so much further to go. To my industry partners, my friends, my colleagues, my lying people over there, it's such an honor to work with each of them and to get to know them, know their love of the industry, and I am blown away. So thank you all very, very much.
Thank you. Danette, congratulations. It's really nice to be able to appreciate somebody that has worked so hard for the county.
Stealing it.
November. Yeah, November. I think we missed one. We did. Canceled it. How's business?
Next up.
It's been a brutal couple of weeks with the weather.
The problem is we changed the brand, so we're gonna be feeling brutal anyway.
All right, next up.
And
Yes. Tony, come on up. We're excited. You all have met Tony DeRusso, the managing partner of the Marriott Resort and Spa in Palmetto. And it's real excited. Lee Hancock is here, the principal owner of the Marriott Resort and Spa. We spent some time on the road last week, drumming up business. I'll just say that. You all know what we were doing out west. But it's really, really exciting. I'm sure many of you, the mayor probably drives by it every day, seeing that hotel just come together faster than most hotels are being built. And I think what's really more important is to acknowledge that Palmetto, Manatee County has been looking for a convention center hotel since 1983. Okay, literally, and I couldn't tell you how many hotel developers have come and gone, even under the Larry White administration, where we thought we were close and didn't get there. And it took two guys from Northern California to take risk, to be bold, to not only build us a hotel, but a hotel that's going to be 4-star plus. And we just have to continue to be lockstep with this team for the greater good, because we just can't assume organically that we're going to have success. We believe in our heart we will, because philosophically aligned, but we have to stay on the pedal, the cities, the county, the TDC, working with them for the greater good. And I know I'm real excited where we're going to be 3 years from now and beyond. So I didn't think you expected to stand here this long, and I told him to be short. So Tony's going to give you kind of some insight on where they're at and when the hotel looks like it's going to be open, and then I'll give you all a convention center upset. Sorry, Commissioner.
No problem.
Update. So with that, Mr. Tony DeRusso.
Well, before Tony starts, I'd like to say a few things too, and mainly just to make him stand there and feel uncomfortable. But no, you know what? This is one of the most exciting projects that we have in the county right now. And Tony and his team have, this is one of those projects that exceeds the original vision. So thank you very much for your hard work, diligence, and keeping this thing moving. And now I'll let you speak.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Commissioner. And can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. First of all, thank you guys for having me. Leanne, is there a mouse to put up my presentation here? I don't see a mouse.
Pull up the drawer, open the drawer in front.
There we go. Just get this up.
Tony, if I can be of help.
Yeah. I normally have Christian here to help me. Where's the place?
Emily, there you
we
go.
go.
There you
All right.
go.
So it's a point and click.
Sorry for that. First of all, I am getting asked to speak less and less lately, because when it comes to this project, I can speak, and I can speak for hours. I know the commissioner can attest to that, and thank you for your time in coming and getting kind of immersed in what we do. Elliot says that it takes two guys from Northern California to take risk to build a full-service hotel next to this convention center. Well, that's true. I have to come here and I admit to all of you guys, when I first got involved in this project over 8 years ago, I was the biggest pessimist of this project that you can imagine. I did not even want to get on a plane and spend my time to come into the community, because I was convinced that a full-service hotel next to this convention center in Palmetto, Florida wouldn't work. When you do all the different traditional underwriting and feasibility due diligence analysis on a hotel project, it really didn't check a lot of the boxes. But what I found out, and fortunately people that were smarter than me and more educated as far as what was going on in this area, encouraged me to come here and to spend some time here in this community. So I did what I was told to do, and I got on a plane and I came. I came here somewhat familiar with the Sarasota and St. Petersburg area. Not at all familiar, no offense, Mayor, with Bradenton, the city of Palmetto. I wasn't even familiar with Anna Maria Island. But I was good at studying maps. I was good at understanding businesses and how those businesses contribute to a community. So when I came into that town, I met a few people, and one of them was Elliot Falcione over here. And really what ended up happening over the course of really the first kind of couple years of me coming into this community is I learned that first and foremost I want to live here. I've relocated here. As of a year and a half ago, I brought my entire family from Northern California, and we are a proud resident of the city of Palmetto. Not only was it a great place to be, but after seeing all the hard work of Elliot, this council, and all the other businesses and all the other hospitality before us, they have done a phenomenal job of setting up this opportunity. And I became convinced that not only would this area support a full-service hotel, it's crying out for one. And we believe that so much so that this is where we're at. I'm going to try and talk quick. I'm just going to give you guys an overall update. I know a few of you, I see a lot of familiar faces, are very familiar. Some of you are somewhat familiar with the project, but things are really coming together here. We are on track to open in April. We mentioned Lee. Lee is in town here to help us. We do need to put a very significant overtime push on some certain trades in order for us to make that happen, but we are committed to doing what is necessary to make that happen. Who we are a Marriott Resort and Spa, centrally located to the west coast of Florida. We are a haven, creating a destination that will be able to allow different types of experiences within our hotel. I heard the term, and really from the beginning, we always designed this project to be able to accommodate business use and leisure, right? And I learned after Greg Cascio, who's the general manager of the hotel, is here. He's been here for over a year now, literally a godsend to us. I learned that there's a term in the industry called bleisure. That's really what we're creating here. We are creating a bleisure resort, and in combination with what the Board of County Commissioners has approved for a $48 million expansion renovation to this convention center, we are building a resort destination unlike any other. I can't tell you how many people that I have toured on this property, and we've got involved into a deep immersion into who we are and what we're doing, and we are a one-of-a-kind resort. I can tell you that I've had investment professionals, development professionals, restaurant professionals, hotel professionals, and when I say professionals, I'm talking about the head of full-service brands of Marriott International. I'm talking about the executive vice president of Ambridge Hospitality. It's the largest hotel management company in the world. I'm talking about these types of professionals are coming to our property, and they leave here with words like, wow, I'm amazed. I've never seen anything like this. Where did you come up with this? And it wasn't just this project coming together. I just have to be honest. It wasn't just a vision of my own or even really the whole team. It's literally a story of a million little miracles to get us to where we are today. So we definitely have to acknowledge that. We do have 4 different restaurants included in our hotel. We have our Oyster River Rooftop, which is literally the bridge of our ship. That is everything Florida fresh with a Mediterranean twist, with shellfish being our hero. This restaurant is really the guiding light of everything that we're doing. It is an elevated dining experience on our rooftop lounge. I will tell you, I'm incredibly excited. I call him the favorite hire that we've had. No offense to Greg. I did say he is a godsend. He literally is a godsend. Well, so is Chef Anthony Castro. Chef Anthony Castro is not just a chef, he's an artist. He does and prepares food like you can't even believe. I mean, this guy, he carves chocolate. He does ice sculptures. He takes fruit and turns it into a flock of doves. The guy is an amazing artist, and that's the level of talent that we're bringing into this team, because we need people, when they come onto our property, they need to leave here going, wow, I've never seen this before. Those same types of things that we're getting from the actual atmosphere that we're creating with our building and the beautiful views of Manatee River all the way up to the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. So that's our Oyster River Rooftop. We have a Revive concept. The Revive is a health and wellness offering that is going to be out on our pool deck, but it also encompasses our spa, our beach club, our fitness. So we've tied all of those programs together into a Revive concept, and that's our health and wellness offering. And then we have the Social restaurant. The Social is your typical 3-meal restaurant in our lobby. That encompasses not only the 3-meal restaurant, but also our bar. The concept of that is meet, eat, drink. I know I've owned an insurance and financial services firm in Northern California, and I know how valuable hotel lobbies are to business owners and members of the community. I can't tell you how many deals that I actually signed or shook hands on inside the lobby of a hotel. Well, we are so strategically located on the west coast of Florida. I can't think of a better location than to actually have business meetings. You can come meet for a cup of coffee, meet for a drink. You can take them out for dinner, those sorts of things. We will also be selling memberships to our hotel, our resort, and our beach club. We do have a beach club across the street that we are working on. We're going to be bringing in 2,000 cubic yards of sugar white sand and creating our own private beach experience directly across the parking lot from the hotel. We also have an outdoor event venue. Right now it is a open air event lawn or plaza that has always been in the plan since the very beginning to partner with the convention center and everything that they do over there already with boat shows, RV shows, home and garden shows. We will also be activating the yard with all sorts of different types of activities. Winter Wonderland, I know that Elliot and his staff are working on a European holiday market. We want to partner with him and create that destination for the holidays. We want to have Super Bowl parties, World Series parties. We really want to activate the yard and turn that into kind of our entertainment destination. What we already talked about that. We are a Bleasure Hotel. Offering 252 oversized guest rooms spanning approximately 375 feet with 6 suites. All of our suites are flexible. They can be 1 bedroom, 1.5 bath, 2 bedroom, 2.5 bath, or our captain suite is 3 bedroom, 3.5 baths. We have approximately 80,000 square feet of versatile meeting space. So indoor, outdoor. The indoor portion of that is going to be mainly with our ballroom and our junior ballroom. Our ballroom is approximately 8,800 square feet and can fit 580 banquet style. We have our junior ballroom, which is approximately 2,100 square feet and can fit, Greg, what was it, 240? 180. I exaggerate sometimes. About 180 banquet style in our junior ballroom. And I'm going to try and go quick here because I think I'm getting asked to talk less and less because I talk too much. So I'm going to try and go a little bit quicker. Oyster River, and a little bit about our narrative and our history and a culture. We've really adapted the story of the region. I know the mayor knows it. The mayor has an incredible amount of history of what this location is. Well, when you first build a hotel, that's the first thing that you do is you create a design narrative, and that narrative gives you purpose into a lot of the decisions, not all of the decisions, but a lot of the decisions that you make. Our narrative is basically a geographical territory rich in history and ancient civilization. We're a community that's always been involved in water and boating. A little fun fact is where the Oyster River name comes from. I think many of you guys who are local here will know this, again, better than I, and I know that Ed, you probably have more information than any of us as it relates to the history here. But in the expedition days of Hernando de Soto, they actually referred to the Manatee River as the Oyster River because it's so rich in the oyster beds. It's a little bit sad that I think that they've been very depleted, and there's a lot of sustainability efforts and things going on in restoring those oysters, and we want to be a part of that. By the way, we're everything sustainability. We want to participate in restoring those oysters, and our team did a phenomenal job. They went back and actually located a map from, I think it was the 16th century, where you can actually see an arrow pointing to what is referred to as Oyster River. Our spa is approximately 3,500 square feet, 7 treatment rooms. We have a bridal suite, manicure, pedicure, hydrotherapy, aromatherapy, a Zen deck, sun deck, health and wellness, supplements, and it's all directly attached to our pool, to our resort-style pool. So we are going to be a very elevated spa experience. We've adapted the JW Marriott brand standards in our spa, because the Marriott Resort and Spa brand standards actually don't exist. We didn't know that. So when we were studying, normally when you choose a brand, you have a guide with their brand standards to tell you, how and where to design it. The Marriott Resort and Spa actually didn't have brand standards for the spa, so we've adapted the JW Marriott brand standards. Here's some renderings of our actual spa. You can see on the top left there, that is our bridal suite. You can see the two exterior images on the top center and then lower right, one of them being connected to our pool deck. The lower left was our original inspiration image, and then the one in the middle there, that is our wet lounge of the spa. This is a beach club. This is really what's differentiating us right here. So this is directly across the street from the hotel. You can see the parking lot and the convention center expansion right there, so directly across Haven Boulevard. We are entering into a long-term lease with Riviera Dunes. We already have the approvals from the board, which that was fun. But we got there. We had a almost unanimous vote. There's 124 owners, and we had 121 yes votes to do this beach club. Kudos to the team and all the work that they did on getting us there, educating them on kind of what it is that we're planning on doing there. Again, you can see we have 2,000 cubic yards of sugar white sand. That's a massive beach. If any of y'all are familiar with St. Pete Pier, downtown St. Pete, they built a beach next to the pier. Ours is the same width, same length as that, double the width. So that's the size of the beach that this is going to end up creating. And we realized that we needed to give the guests an opportunity to dip or to swim. Obviously, Belmari Lake, that it's connected to, is non-swimmable waters for multiple reasons. The first one for me, being from Northern California, is a little thing called alligators. I'm terrified of them. So please don't bring me around them. I have a trauma story from New Orleans that I'll share with you another day. And but anyway, so what we decided to do, and a lot of this was the vision of Greg in the seats there, is to build a massive pool. And when we say massive pool, that's 125 feet long by 43 feet wide with a beach entry pool coming up to a never-ending edge. So it's not quite a lagoon that you see going on a lot of these developments that are going on across the country, but it's a bit of a mini lagoon that we're doing there. We're converting the tennis courts into resort-style pickleball courts. We're going to create a garden, and then we're going to kind of create a fitness/market out of the existing building that's there, and we're going to take the pool that's there and call it our fitness or lap pool, specifically, designated to swimming laps or those that want to use the pool for fitness. This is when we start getting a little bit bigger. This is a big initiative that I'm a champion of. I want to participate in, is really the connectivity to the Palmetto Estuary Preserve and a concept of a multimodal trail system that I know already exists, but there's some work that needs to be done to kind of connect us. One of the things I realized early on when our property was a jungle, I mean, you guys, if you remember, the property next to the convention center was literally a jungle with Army Corps of Engineers. I mean, I can go down the list of it, but when I was studying it, I recognized that there was this beautiful park across the street, and Palmetto Estuary Preserve, and I've got photos I can show you that preserve is absolutely phenomenal. It's a sanctuary for birds. All the Florida wildlife that you can imagine are located in this preserve. There's some existing trailways, a beautiful observation deck. Lots of infrastructure has already been set up there. It's just being underutilized right now. So we want to connect to that. We want to see that. We want to see that improved upon and really utilized. I think it needs a few things like lighting, needs patrol, needs hours designated to the park so the police can control it. There's certain things that need to happen in order to do that, but that's a big draw for tourism. Right? When people come to Florida, they want to see what is specific to Florida, and right across the street from this beautiful resort and convention center is the opportunity to do that. It's just not really being presented in that way yet. And then connecting to that through the water taxi with all the hard work that y'all have done here, including Elliot, having that water taxi have a stop in there, I think it's a game changer for the community. And then more so, even the connection to the city of Bradenton, right across with the beautiful Riverwalk that y'all have done there, and connecting connecting that Riverwalk with us getting some more walkability, multimodal transportation, I think it'd be a game changer for the community. You all know that a year and a half ago, the city of Tampa won Riverwalk of the year. I think that this multimodal trail system with the city of Bradenton, the city of Palmetto, and the water taxi connecting you to the sugar white sands of Anna Maria Island. I'm not saying that y'all win, but your name's in the hat, and it's going to be. It will definitely create national attention to this community. The yard at South Bay Center, I told you right now we are currently permitted as an outdoor event plaza. We have plans to add a stage to that to make it a little bit more permanent. I went in through for a modification to the permit with the city, and adding the stage apparently reclassifies us as an amphitheater, which creates, I have to go back through, you all know the zone, I have to go through planning and zoning, public notice, city commission, multiple city commission meetings. So it's not that stage isn't coming, it's just when is it coming? We don't have the exact answer to that. But day one, we will have an outdoor event plaza at the opening of the hotel that will be able to basically function the same way that it's always been able to function. We just don't have a stage right now to help us that. We can have to bring in portable stages, etc. This is big time. You talk about vision. This is kind of a master plan, if you will, to kind of show really what we see as the highest and the best use of this entire area. So if you study that, you've obviously got our hotel there, and then you've got the expansion of the convention center. And with that expansion, it kind of creates two outdoor event venues, one of them being the yard, which is approximately 40,000 square feet of outdoor event space, and will also create a 16,000 square foot riverfront plaza between the convention center and the hotel. You can see the beach club across the street. I will tell you phase two. So phase one is the hotel, right? The spa and the outdoor event space. Phase two for us as development is 7,500 square feet of retail on that corner. I have confidence to tell you that 7,400 square feet will be delivered in 2024. In order to do additional retail, which we would like to do, we think, and by the way, we've hired Jones Lang LaSalle, a national player at Jones Lang LaSalle, and we have been dating, for lack of a better word, lots of potential users for this space, and I can tell you that there are dozens of high-named, big-profile types of users that would be interested in this space. We can't do it until there's more parking. I'm just going to tell you right now, we can do the 7,500 square feet on the corner, but that additional retail around the yard can't be done without additional parking. So I know that there's some initiatives, and we're kind of waiting to see how that all plays out. But we do believe that the demand is going to be there for a parking garage. For the facilities when they're on full cylinders, right? When the convention center's sold out and our ballrooms are sold out and we're humming. I do think we're going to have a little bit of a parking issue. I think that parking garage will solve a lot of issues, specifically if we connect it to the water taxi system. If we can use that as a parking destination for water taxi, get them across the street, get them on a boat, and get them out to Anna Maria Island, I think it solves a lot of problems. And then we have a third parcel that will probably be the last phase, and who knows, I can't even give a date on when that'll be, but we have identified the highest and best use for that is a 121 unit branded residence club, i.e. a Marriott Autograph Collection. Okay, here's some images of the retail. You can see on the bottom there, that is an actual schematic rendering of the 7,500 square feet. It's not just your typical strip mall. We want to do some architectural embellishments to complement the the brand new resort and the brand new renovated convention center next door. And then we have an inspirational image for the retail in and around the yard. And I guess I did put some names on there of people that we were talking to. So again, exciting. These are all potential, but exciting potential tenants that are very, very interested in coming into the facility. Here's our exterior design, our ship on land, if you will. And I think I mentioned Chef Anthony. I think I already talked about Chef Anthony. I can't brag about this guy anymore. I mean, he's worked at Ritz-Carlton, Four Seasons, at Edinburgh Castle. We just got him out of the Biltmore Hotel in Miami, where he just got done doing the governor's dinner. The guy's a special talent. Here's some samples of just the level of detail that he puts into his food and his presentation. And these are banquets, like, type of food. This isn't just coming, on a Friday night for dinner. Like, he's multiplying this times hundreds across the board. It's just an incredibly state-of-the-art presentation. Here's a rendering of our Oyster River rooftop. You can see the beautiful bar, and just everything about it screams elevated. This is our lobby bar. This is the social, if you will. Here's our ballroom. This rendering doesn't really do it justice. It's a pretty big room, 8,800 square feet. When you get in there, you can see it. Those chandeliers that you see there, I believe they are 10 feet round. That's the size of those chandeliers that are there. So it's pretty significant. This is kind of a view of our reception desk and then the pre-function. You can see the massive size of our pre-function. Our building is 198,200 square feet. The convention center on total under square feet is approximately 100,000 with the expansion renovation. We have a 300,000 square foot facility right here that we're going to be able to maximize as just an incredible asset to the entrance of the urban core of Manatee County. Here's our M Club for the M Club enthusiasts. I think you all know what that's about. It's going to be a very, very special M Club experience with direct connectivity to our resort-style pool. Here's a new rendering of our pool. If you haven't seen it, this is Revive Pool. Again, resort, cabanas, lounge chairs, everything that you expect to see in a resort. Here's another rendering of our pool. Water fountains, landscaping is gorgeous. It's going to be an incredible experience. I think that's it. Elliot, did I go too long?
Yes, no.
Sorry.
Great
I
job.
apologize,
No,
guys.
it's all
I have
good.
a lot to
It's
talk
all good.
about. Is there any questions that you guys have for me?
Are there any other obstacles that we can help with? Or miracles, as you call them?
Yeah, I mean, I do need to. I'm working on some things with the spa and the beach club. I can maybe talk to you offline
Okay.
on some of the initiatives that we have there. But no, I think by and large the government agencies have worked really, really well, from the city of Palmetto, Manatee County, and even the open relationship that we've had with the city of Bradenton. We all need to work together, and our project is here. I mean, like, a rising tide rises all boats. Like, we're going to be an asset to everybody. I mean, I can't wait. I cannot wait for the day that Greg selects who's going to be doing all of our laundry, because we can make an entire business for somebody that's going to be handling the laundry, and that's just one small example. We're going to be partnering with Mr. Childs here in Gamble Creek Farms. His staff they've blown our staff away. We talked about our chef. Our chef is blown away by Gamble Creek Farms and everything that you're doing out there. And we're going to work with Gamble Creek Farms, and it's going to be part of our story. And, we're working with local boat captains, and we're going to help this community and create so much more economic stimulus than I think a lot of people even imagine.
Yeah, and I think that's an oversight on some of these projects, is the economic local development. Yeah, same with the library. It was the same kind of a thing. But I want to thank you and Greg for your high level of passion. It's hard not to be long-winded when you're as passionate as what you are. But at the same time, you cannot attract talent like the chef that you've attracted without a high level of passion, right? It overcomes obstacles. It attracts talent. So much appreciated.
Thank you.
Exciting.
Get me out of this PowerPoint. See, Tony, I go to the experts. Get me out of this PowerPoint and go.
Is it on the desktop?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
This one?
It's
This one?
I think so. There you go.
I have a different type of computer than you.
If you need help, let me know.
I think all the way on the top.
Why am I struggling? I know how
Yeah,
to
right.
do this.
Go above it.
There we go.
There you go. All right. I'll give you a good review now, Emily. Thanks, Tony. Just a few closing notes on the Marriott Hotel. And you all pretty much know it. This is for the public consumption. This isn't a big corporation that's building this hotel. It's family owned. And if you really dig into how they got this built, there's a lot of private equity into this. So, you know, we need to stay on the pedal and not assume anything. Sometimes, you know, you've heard me say it multiple times. This will be the only hotel convention of its size from St. Petersburg to Naples. We have to do our job to leverage that, because when we do our job, we'll stand alone on the west coast of Florida as the premier place to have a convention of about 800 attendees or less. So really, really important. This is the gateway to the urban core. It really is. So you mentioned, Commissioner, you know, how can the governments help curb appeal? You know, so I think we work together with the cities, with the county, to leverage, to scour the country for grants, and leverage all the equity that the governments have put in already. This project will showcase in the marketplace other corporations that'll see what's happening to come in to kick the tires in the urban core as well. So really, really important. I get a little concerned when you see Ann Witteen's update that, you know, just a lot of consistent success. And you all know it, with that comes complacency. And I get concerned about that. I lose sleep about that sometimes. If you come to our industry meetings, you may get 35 people there. And it's a pretty good agenda, you know. But if we have a hurricane coming down our throat, or if we have a 2017 red tide, then you have 300 people in that room. So we need to find that balance to say, look, we need to collaborate in good times and in bad. And I know I need to lead that. But it's a concern that these assumptions are kicking in that with success remains success. And you'll also see with Ann's report is some people are saying, oh my gosh, we're starting to see a retraction in business. And my polite response with a little bit of arrogance is saying, y'all, I've been telling you for over a year that we're blessed with this extreme, unique, unprecedented domestic pent-up demand that's not going to stay here forever. And now we're getting back to normalcy. And thank God we have a British and a Central European business that helps augment that a little bit. But it's some of the directors of sales are like, oh my gosh, the business is now is retracting a little bit. No. We've been blessed, unprecedented. So just I'm telling you all this because we need ambassadors, and a big part of why you signed up for the TDC is to be ambassadors of tourism, and let's challenge each other for the greater good. I look at each and every one of you, and if I'm going off the road, y'all don't have any problem at all picking up the phone and calling me out on that. And I want nothing less. And the reason why I'm just pouring my heart out, because you're looking at a $150 million project in Palmetto that desperately needs it. Desperately needs it. Mayor Bryan, who's been a great mayor, her city collected $37,000 in tourism tax in 2023. And this hotel will bring $5 to $7 million in tourism tax starting in 2024. That's pretty cool. Okay, so with that, thank you for the minor digression. Let's get into.
Let me just add to that for a second. You're the main reason I'm here, because I do want to help your cause, and because you're a great leader. So your passion as well, your leadership, your undying want to make the county better. You're the reason this hotel deal is here, because Tony, like you mentioned, was not that enthused, which is understandable, him coming from California and dropping in Palmetto. The shift in him is due to you. You have a way of attracting business, attracting these great projects. It's your ability to sell, persuade, and then also when it comes to the board and you're making a presentation, I need the public to know, you come at it from a business sense. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm not a politician. So, you know, your presentations are loaded with, here's what this is going to cost, here's what it does for the county, and here's a future revenue streams, including the economic development piece. So, I mean, kudos to you.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll humbly say If I'm not doing that, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, but thank you. It's utilizing the resources that are available that are a lot smarter than me to help connect the dots to get deals like this done, and including the support of this board and the Board of County Commissioners. But thank you for your
See,
comments.
he's a persuader. See that?
Thank
Did
you.
you see it? And he's humble. Sign of a good leader.
Thank you. There's that visual of that Manatee Civic Center, opened January of 1985. Mayor Bryant, we need to get Ralph Haben at our celebration when that day comes. The man got the governor to sign off on a grant that building never had debt service in its life. There's the existing footprint. Not much you can do with it except host community events. Not much else than that. And then there is where the rubber meets the road. So the highlighted orange is going to be the expansion. We are on the cusp of putting in the foundations at the connector that will be butt up to the hotel, and then the expanded area where the multi-purpose ballroom will be. It'll seat up to 900 people, banquet style, dividing into two. But we should be putting foundations in as early as next week. And even though we've gotten some rain, it really hasn't slowed us down. There's a better shot of the overview there where it says expansion. Okay, North Plaza and South Plazas are going to be really, really important to the overall amenities. Those gathering areas those activation areas, we'll be able to lease those spaces. You may even have a high-end destination wedding where they need that North Plaza for a ceremony, and then they can enjoy a reception, whether it be in the Marriott or our convention center. Diversification, multi-purpose is really, really important. There you go. Gosh, you talk about surreal. My office being in that convention center since October of '93, to see that shock and all, I think for Norma and Mayor Bryant, y'all grew up here your whole life. It's got to be really, really surreal. Probably since they broke ground on the Civic Center. So really, really exciting. There's our north parking lot. Now this is a great shot of 7th Street Extension with the roundabout. Boy, you know what? I love that roundabout because it's slowing down that traffic that used to kind of pick up speed 60 miles an hour sometimes in the middle of the night. Sadly, we had some cars go into our pond because of that stretch. So that'll slow that traffic down, and it's really will kind of optimize the ingress, egress of that whole development there. We should have that north parking lot to be put cars there February 1. Right now, we've been off-siting them adjacent to the 7-Eleven. There's another shot from the Riviera Dunes side. You can see some of the retention ponds have been relocated as well. The first impression, the curb appeal of this convention center is going to be vastly improved. Even the HVAC handlers on the main arena, there's going to be skirts there, so we'll hide those chiller units on the roof as well. There's a shot, that's the main entrance of the convention center. You can see the elevation of the expansion, the glass and the pre-function. You want a lot of light coming in to those pre-function areas. In the ballroom area, you want that to be dark. Light is a problem. Outside light is a problem when you get into a ballroom, but we're really excited to have the glass on the elevation. And then that's the South Plaza. Once again, like Tony said, we're trying to create a destination, not a hotel and a convention center. You got to have a destination kind of mindset. There's a shot coming from the Manatee School of the Arts, heading south past the roundabout of the elevation of that. Once again, love the curb appeal for that look right there. And that's a shot from almost the future beach resort, the main part of the entrance. The landscape is going to complement, if not be identical, to the look of the Marriott Resort and Spa. The main arena, 32,000 square feet. We're not going to do too much there. Of course, the ceiling being black. Black is beautiful. It goes away. We will redo that terrazzo floor. I think I mentioned to you, that terrazzo is nothing but millions of pieces of paper with 6 coats of epoxy paint to create the terrazzo look. You can beat on it. The current floor is about 12 years old and still looks pretty good. The most important thing that we're going to do is cover the telescopic seats when they are retracted, so that look goes away for the higher end exhibit shows. And of course, as you all know, that divides into two as well. There is a whole different lobby look going into the exhibit space. So it is definitely catered more towards corporate meetings, conventions, retreats, a little bit different. I'll touch upon, where we're headed with the community events, the consumer shows. There's a shot of the pre-function outside the future ballroom that'll seat 800 people. You can see the glass to the right, very nice earth tone colors with some Florida turquoise being in our brand. But those earth tone colors are really, really important to the meeting planner. If we went with the Florida pastel colors, we're kind of handcuff them, and then they're gonna have to spend a lot more money to get the look that they would want. There's another shot of the pre-function there, so it's gonna flow really, really well. And even the carpets are gonna integrate with the Marriott carpets as well. That is a shot of the future ballroom, multi-purpose room. Love the ceiling. Once again, brighter colors, more earth tone, and that'll divide into two as well. And I think that's all I did right there. Once again, for the public consumption, this project should be complete right around the tail end of the first quarter of 25, so let's just call it Easter. Kirsten Lovett has been hired as our sales director to work with Greg and Scott on the Marriott team to go after large conventions and retreats. And Kirsten has experience working for the Economic Development Council as well, working with our general manager, Anna Pohl, who you all know. So starting in 2026, this complex is going to conservatively bring in about $25–30 million to the urban core and beyond annually. So when you put in $48 million one time and you get that ROI of $25–30 million, that's a pretty good deal. And then we're not talking about the return corporate visitor. So Ann would tell you that the corporate visitor that comes to the Bradenton area for the first time is likely to return 74% of the time within 12 months. We will promote in advance of a convention saying, hey, if you'd like to extend your stay beyond the convention, then go to this site where you can enjoy Anna Maria Island or Longboat Key and really get that added value to the trip. So we're getting there. Please continue to visit. We've been doing open houses. We had a great turnout last week with the media open house. I think we had 6 television stations there, some being in Tampa, and then we had some print, like Mr. Jones behind me with the Bradenton Herald. That's best practices to really keep the project top of mind in an efficient and effective way. And then we are now hosting prospective meeting planners at these open houses to get their blood flowing, because we do expect there to be some initial intrigue. But it's 2 years from now when that tidal wave goes through, then how do we position ourselves? How do we incentivize to leverage those conventions in? So with that, I'm going to go sit down, and if you all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
some comments, if that's all right with you?
Of course, I'm expecting it from you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. So I'm just going to say one thing off. You're an entrepreneur. That's how I came into this, but you are still a politician now. So
Oh,
you got to accept
I have
it.
to correct my opening.
Yeah,
then.
yes.
Thank you
No,
for
I'm
your
just
advice.
saying because, again, I agree with you 100% on the business world of how things happen. And without people like Elliot, time-wise, obviously longevity-wise, coming in and seeing what he's done has been, a blessing to our community, and I think longevity-wise. What with this project in the Civic Center, because I was one of the first, if not the first graduating class from high school in June of 1985 at the Convention Center, now the old Civic Center. So that was one of the things when you look back on, you say, okay, memories in your life of what they are and what they were, but if we don't stay with the gas pedal pushed fully, we're going backwards. And I think what this county commission has done by stepping up and sometimes you know, there's some detractors out there that say, oh, we got to slow down. But if we slow down, then we're not getting anything done. And I'm so excited for Palmetto with what, you know, the leadership of Mayor Bryant has done. And we all know that, you know, sometimes we don't always agree politically on things, but we agree that, you know, our community is number one. And, you know, as he'd mentioned, you know, no, I know Sarasota, I know St. Pete, but, you know, and a lot of people know Anna Maria Island, but they're starting to know Palmetto, Bradenton, the urban cores of what's changing, and that's important. And I think that when we look to the future, we all have got to keep the gas pedal fully, you know, pushed and keep that going. Are we going to have some bumps in the road? Obviously, but I think with what this TDC, what the county commission, what the local governments are doing, along with all the private entities that are out there, and you look at this private-public partnership that's happening next to our Civic now Convention Center, is important to keep going, because it's not just about Palmetto, it's about Bradenton, Manatee County, Anna Maria Island, and as long as that can keep going, I think we're in a good place. So I just want to thank our county commission for taking that $48 million step, because there was other ways that could have been less expensive and less energetic. And when you see the return on what's going to happen, that's what's going to make our Oyster River back to what it was, and an opportunity there. So I think leadership is very important, and it's, you know, some of us in the government see some of it and work together, but also the people in the seats. And I think, Elliot, you and your team and all that you've built has really memorialized that from what your history was, and us stealing you away from Pittsburgh to be, you know, not native, but as close as you can get to native Manatee County. And so thank you for that, and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. Nice job. I just wanted to go just a little step deeper. I know I've been very appreciative of actually Tony and his team, and of course Lee stepping in as the primary investor. But there has been so much going on for so long, and I don't know if you could count how many organizations, agencies have been on our standing Thursday morning conference calls to actually bring this to fruition. So there's many, many people, FDOT, I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start, but that have seen the vision and did everything that they possibly could do to bring it to fruition. And I think the leaders were in the right places in all the different entities. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of Palmetto, because it's long overdue. And I do hope that we can have Ralph Haben there. A lot of people don't know that the original committee that they were helping to build the Convention Civic Center at the time, they wanted to acknowledge him for bringing the money home to Manatee County. And he's a very humble person, and he said absolutely not. So they just overrode him. He didn't want it named after him, so they did name it Haben Boulevard. So he did a great service to Manatee County and to Palmetto. So hopefully we can get him to attend when it's open. That would be awesome.
In $10 million in 1983 was a lot of money. It's a lot of money today, but that's a good suitcase full of money from the state.
It was. And one thing, every time there was it appeared that we were going to get a hotel, something would dash it at the very end. So there's been a lot of enthusiasm, but it was dashed at the last minute. So this is just really an exciting time and an exciting operation and event that we're going to be experiencing some openings. We love those. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? I would just like to say one more thing, is to reinforce what Mayor Brown said, is we have to keep our foot on the gas, and the largest reason for that also is material costs are still out of control. By the time we get these big projects through design and engineering, it's moved millions of dollars on these big projects. So absolutely, we've got to keep our foot on the gas, and the present commission is well aware of that. and I'd like to thank you for your advice on maybe the way I present things. What I mean by I'm not a politician. My lens of making decisions is like a businessman. Just like material costs are going up, what do these things cost? It's based on that lens, not your maybe stereotypical bureaucrat. That's what I mean by that. But obviously I have to be a whole lot less brash than my natural personality. That's it for now. We'll move on. Next up, State of Tourism update from Ann Wittine. Thank you, Ann.
Morning.
And can you maneuver through that? I didn't close that out. Thank you.
So, good morning. My name's Ann Mateen. I am with Research Data Services. Does this work? Yeah. So, as Elliot mentioned, in November, we are seeing some contractions. We've got a 6.4% decrease in visitors, a 6.9% decrease in economic impact. This is not really the softening that Elliot's been reporting. This is the Hurricane Ian effect. So last year and we saw this much more so in October, but it continued into November, and you're going to see similar numbers for December. This is because last year we were hosting recovery workers and insurance adjusters and displaced residents and people who would have vacationed to other places but couldn't because of other areas being more impacted by the storm. So the important numbers to look at here are these, that 80,000 visitors is a 45% increase over what we saw in 2019. In 2019, there were only 55,600 overnight commercial lodging visitors in the destination for November. So we're still seeing very significant real growth over that period of time. But Elliot's entire team is focused not on bringing more people, but on bringing people who are going to bring more economic impact to the destination, who are going to not just stay in the hotels, but eat in the restaurants and shop in the retail. So the economic impact increase is over from 2019 is 76.3%. So we are still seeing very real growth. This is an adjustment back to the trend line over that bubble that we had last year because of exogenous factors. Occupancy reflects a really similar picture. So occupancy was 66.1% with an average daily room rate of $186 and a RevPAR, revenue per available room, of $123.36. That compares to $90.40 in 2019, so a 36.5% increase in revenue per available room, which is really impressive considering that in 2019 we had 9,100 units available as opposed to the 10,000 now. That 10% increase means that much more to sell, which means that it takes more people just to maintain occupancy. So we're seeing, as I said, some really real growth. In terms of where people are coming from, we are seeing growth out of Canada and a little bit out of Europe. We had seen a big bubble when flights actually were available again. And then we've seen a little bit of rollback, and now we'll start to see growth again out of that European market. But a real increase in visitors from Canada. 2019 was 1,450. And this is still a little bit early for our overnight commercial lodging visitors from Canada to be coming. But the growth that we've seen out of the Northeast and Midwest, if you look at those percentage changes from 2019, those core markets, we have seen real growth. And as I say, kind of every time that I'm here, all of the marketing that we did post-COVID to our immediate surrounding Florida markets have continued to have ripple effect. One of Elliot's favorite statistics is that if we can get a new visitor here, they come back again. And this shows that that's the case. When we did that marketing, we brought lots of new people in who hadn't really discovered what they had in their own backyard. And they are maybe not coming as often, but they are continuing to come. So in terms of party size, and this is still sort of that Hurricane Ian effect, we had slightly smaller party size and a shorter length of stay. Because last year at this time, we had some kind of long-term visitors. In terms of the combined October-November, I sort of mentioned October before. We have visitors down 7.9%. October, that impact was magnified. And that impact was more seen on the mainland side than on the beach side. And economic impact down by 8.3%. But you can see that the growth over 2019 is similar to what we saw for November. In terms of industry trends, the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport, SRQ, for the entire calendar year of 2023 was up by 12.3%. That's a 78.1% increase over 2019. And in terms of what people are telling us, there are some concerns. December was tight. As I said, it looks like it's going to look a lot like November did, at least preliminarily. But properties are telling us that January looks good and that February and March look really good, but that they're a little concerned for properties that are booking that far ahead about summer, that there may be some softness in summer that's economy related, which would be what Elliot was talking about, that we may see some adjustment back to the trend line. And one comment that I thought was interesting and maybe something to bear in mind is one of the properties told us that there was a big sign on the way out to Anna Maria that visitors should lock their cars and protect their valuables. And they were concerned that that puts the perception into visitors' heads that we're not safe. So that might be something that you think about in working with law enforcement, kind of moving ahead. It wasn't a comment we'd seen before, so I thought I would share it with you. So that was a really quick recap of kind of where we are and what we're seeing and what things are looking like moving ahead. I know I normally give you TSA data. They've changed the way they're reporting, so all of their history, they are including the flight crew and non-paid seats, so it's not apples to apples anymore. So I didn't bring it to you because it was going to show trends that were not actually the case, because they're not including that in the current year data. So it would look like there were decreases that aren't actually decreases. So, are there any questions?
Mr. Chair, the airport will bring Mark Stuckey back in April. The construction at the airport's coming along, if any of you have been to the airport recently. And then we'll have a good update on increase in business probably as early as the fall, early winter of '24. Just one thought on the international visitation. The one challenge that our Global Affairs Department has had is the price points of the hotels, mainly on the islands, is a lot higher than the tour operators were paying for a decade. And it was like shock and awe. So what you have to look at is their client base, their affordability. And what our team had to do was shift gears and actually target a tour operator firm that has more of a higher end demographic clientele. But you have to get these tour operators up to speed of what product you have to offer, the price points, and then get them into our destination for familiarization tours. So it's the first time since I've been doing this that we've actually had to now start meeting with higher-end tour operators, which is really a great problem to have. And that higher-end demographic is more likely to weather economic fluctuation. They don't worry about the exchange rate as much. So especially the Brits are pretty what's the word, resilient to kind of adversarial situations, but specifically economic fluctuation. So Canada, Air Canada is running daily now, probably through until about May 1. So that's where you're going to see an uptick in Ontario. Still a pretty small market for us, kind of a cyclical market, because when that loonie fluctuates slightly, that market can kind of go cold on you, where the UK and Central Europe's a little more resilient.
Yeah, with the Canadians, what we've noticed on the real estate side is there's been a lot more investment in real estate. So I think again, it's the crowd, because on property rentals, short-term rentals and everything, it's really high, but it hasn't stopped those clients from coming down. So the increase in the rental is probably a lot worse than hotels. But I think again it's the type of market. So the people that are a bit more affluent are less impacted. So I don't know if was there a marketing effort towards Canada in those areas that was different, that helped shift that percentage, or do you think it was just?
Yeah, we launched a campaign in September in advance of Air Canada gearing up Halloween. So there's a push there. We've always done some PR. There's a balance. It's like buying stocks. Where do you invest your money to get the best ROI? So when if you put more equity into Ontario, you're pulling from like a UK or a Central Europe. And what Sarasota's doing as well, they'll be bleed, from county line to county line. So but it's a market that, when you see a lot of the Ontario plates locally here, they're probably snowbirds. Yeah, a little bit different than the leisure visitor, the vacationer. But Ontario is the wheelhouse for Canada for us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ann. Great job.
Thank you. Well, next we'd like to invite up anybody in the public that would like to make comments or has questions. Anybody?
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Karen Hodge.
Hey, Karen.
And I would like to just introduce myself. I am the new executive director for the Anna Maria Island Historical Society Museum. Proud to be in my new role. And I have a long history in the area. I've been here since 1990. I actually lived on the island for 30 years. I was Mr. Childs' marketing director for many years and worked for the company as well. And love the island. I am off island now, just on 75th Street. I'm very excited to be in my new role. And I just want to thank the TDC for their investment and their interest in the museum. Without your support, I would not be in this role, and the museum would not have an executive director. We also have a wonderful consulting team in Carter Global that is helping us navigate making the museum better. So I just encourage you to come out, see the museum for yourself. We're more than just the city jail. So we have a beautiful campus there. Of course, the museum, the old city jail, the Bellhaven Cottage, and also our historic park in the back. And we're going to be looking at that area for hosting events and renting it out and bringing revenue into the museum. As change is inevitable, even smart change, and with the changes on the island, the historical representation, the visual historical representation is disappearing, and it's just a fact of life. But that's why the museum is so important, to house, preserve, collect, and preserve that visual representation. We serve as an educational facility. We had a young lady that's doing a documentary for a college project come out and do some research, and she was able to get a lot of information. We're hosting an event this Wednesday from 5 to 7:30, partnering with some of our local artists. It's called an Artful Evening. We invite you out. It's a free event. And our museum is free. And to keep it free for our visitors and our residents, we rely on membership and donations and volunteers. Our docents are our most valuable asset because without them, we can't be open. So thank you for your overall investment, but I encourage you to be an individual participant, member, get a membership. And if there's any questions or things I can answer, I'd be happy to. We're working with our community to bring groups out. I've talked to the Marriott, I've talked to Mrs. Kennedy here. We're going to collaborate on some things, but we encourage you to come out and see the museum and see the beautiful representation we have of our unique history of Anna Maria Island. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Any questions or comments from the board? No? All right. Any new or old business? Board members?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mayor Brown.
I would be remiss if we didn't bring up water taxi. Obviously, it ran one day, and then last weekend's weather was a little rough, so we're hoping this weekend it's going to be great. Couple of things I just wanted to get out there to the public is, obviously, this isn't a single entity City of Bradenton project. It's the TDC, County Commission, through the transportation part of it. And I thought the Sunday that ran weather-wise and all that was unbelievable. You know, I mean, we had a comment from a person on Facebook, oh, it's an empty boat, nobody's on it. Well, when you had at times 20, 25 people going back and forth on a boat that was half full, you know, that's what you got to look at from the public standpoint. You know, not if, again, your own demeanor, half empty, but that boat was half full on a day that was unbelievable. And I know that everything takes time, but the people that were on it were, you know, my wife and I went on it, rowed out to the pier, docked, walked down Pine to Sandbar, had a nice lunch, walked back, rowed it back, and it was unbelievable. So I know we're looking forward to getting Braden Beach on, and I think that's going to be something that, you know, once it rolls, goes. So, Elliot, you have any other updates on that you want to say?
Yes, you beat me to it. Thank you for you and your wife being on that. We actually had a couple from Austria on the ferry as well. And we're hoping, I'm always bad at managing expectations. We're hoping to add Bradenton Beach maybe as early as this weekend. We were just finalizing an asset to make sure that we were ADA compliant. We want to always be that. And that'll be huge because when the waters are a little bit too choppy to go into the city pier of Anna Maria, then we can still run the service from downtown Bradenton to Bridge Street and keep it going. And now the county's already working on a work assignment to get Coquina Beach up and running as well. And I'm not sure if it's going to be south or north, so we'll get that started. And then we're going to scout out with Charlie Hunsaker and probably Tom Yarger, our construction manager, to look at a stopping place on Longboat Key. And in Longboat Key, the town officials are excited about that. And then finally, like Tony had mentioned, we had a meeting with Charlie Hunsaker and his team, and then we'll be meeting with the Palmetto Mayor and Ed Johnson, the CRA director, about how we can bring that ferry to the convention center as well. So kind of hub and spoke is going to be really, really important. And, you know, I told staff, you know, the media has been more enthusiastic about the water ferry. You know, we can launch a rocket from Bradenton and land on Mars, and I think they'd be more excited about writing about the water ferry, which is a great thing to have. But from time to time, the media is going to be a little bit critical, and social media is going to be critical. But you know what? We shouldn't be in this business if we don't have thick skin and believe in ourselves. We're excited about this weekend. The weather looks great, and we're already talking about running more than Friday, Saturday, Sunday in March and April, because you know what? That's when the traffic's going to the island, and that's when we really, really need to push hard and run maybe, you know, 5 days a week. So we're already in dialogue with that, but you're going to start seeing some more marketing be pushed out, especially into the urban core, the hoteliers and all that, so someone doesn't say, well, gosh, I didn't realize there was a water ferry running. So, but we're real excited. It was a special day. It was a chilly day. And sorry, I didn't go on it. For me being a Pittsburgh guy, you're tougher than me.
No, well, we had, Mr. Chair, if it's all right.
Yes, sir.
We had some people from Green Bay, had some people from Chicago. Actually, there was a ferry boat captain from up there in Lake Michigan area that was on it, talking to them, and So, I mean, it was very, very educational, and it was not that bad. I mean, once we got to the mouth of the river, it was a little bit rougher, but you know, it took us about 40 minutes, and that was going slow. So once the weather's nice, and it wasn't that bad. I mean, obviously I had my long johns on. Don't get to wear those very often. but
Yeah.
big long johns. But no, but I just think that the public that sees it is so excited, and I think that day just kind of maybe scared a few people. But when we were getting back on, 24 people were getting off, and 20 people got on. So it was definitely worth the adventure that first day, and obviously the food was spectacular at Sandbar. So.
Mr. Chair, I'll close on this. We have spec'd out a third ferry that would have an indoor component that we can run during colder days, you know, a little bit rainy days. So we're looking for federal funding for that. Chad Butzo's department is working on some federal grant opportunities. We have the match dollars. And then, like the mayor said, it's really, really important that the residents know that the funding source for this operation is tourism tax proceeds, and then a little bit of the county commission that we get from the beach concessions. So no ad valorem dollars are used for this initiative, because there's the TDC, the cities, and the board want nothing more to enhance the quality of life for the residents that live here by utilizing that beautiful asset called the Manatee River to enhance multimodal transportation, as simple as that. And that's where the media has done a great job telling that story, because if you're not tuned into government, the optics is we're using, you know, residents' monies to operate a ferry service, which is far from the truth.
Yeah. Thank you for your leadership on this, and thank you for that explanation. Anything else from the board?
I just have a couple laundry list items if nobody else has any comments. Great. Okay, so you may have read in the newspaper the World Champions Cup Golf and the concession signed a 3-year deal. So they'll come back in December of 2024, December of 2025, and then the event will go to an international country, which is what you want to really kind of continue to build that brand. And then they're planning to come back to the concession in 2028. So we're real excited about that. We're already going to get around the table in the next few weeks to say what went well in December and where do we need to polish some things up. But I tell you what, nothing better than to work with Bruce Cassidy, the owner of the concession, and Brian Wyman, the GM, and Intersport. It's Commissioner, I know you were out there, and it's a special event with a special team. And you talk about diversifying your influx of tourism, pretty special. This week, Bradenton Country Club is hosting the LPGA, the ladies pro golf event, and they're starting today, and it's great. It's been busy. I was out there the other day, and so happy for the Bradenton Country Club and the mainland urban core of Bradenton. So let me know if y'all want to check it out. Just give me a call. February 14th, I'll be giving a State of Tourism at the Chamber Luncheon. I think it's at Pier 22, so join me if y'all can make it. Always like to get in front of the Chamber members and tell them what's going well and some things that we all have to work on together. And then finally, at the Center on Anna Maria, y'all have been sponsors for the concert series that has raised dollars for that community center that desperately needed it for years. AJ Croce is performing Friday night. It is a sellout. And if you're bored one night, just go to YouTube and punch in AJ Croce, and it's an incredible emotional story about what happened to AJ's life after his father, Jim Croce, was killed in a plane crash. Incredible story. I can't wait to meet him. And he sounds just like his dad sang 50 years ago. So join us. Let me know as well if you can make it out there. Next TDC meeting, April 15th at the County Commission meeting. So we have a little bit of break. If something comes up, Commissioner Turner and I are working on some public-private partnerships out in East County we have non-disclosure agreements, but a lot going on. And I told Charlie Bishop, who's taken the helm really, really well as county administrator. We're working on a priority list that we want to give the county administrator for his review. That'll eventually go to the Board of County Commissioners, just to make sure that, with success comes a lot of opportunities, a little bit faster than the norm. And sometimes you embrace them, and sometimes you have to professionally say, we'll take a pass on this one based on the funding that we have available. So as soon as we get a blessing from county administrator and the Board of County Commissioners, we'll share it. I want to get back to one-on-one meetings with the TDC. I hate it that we don't do that as much. It's all about me and my fault of not being able to get out to see you. But it's really important that we spend an hour together every other month, so you all know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and where we need your help on all these opportunities. So it's fun, but expect to get an invite from me really soon.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to bring up something. Since our next meeting is after the regatta,
That's what I was, yep.
I think that's on February 17th, and just want to remind everybody about that. And also February 2nd and 3rd is the Conley Buick Rodeo at the Manatee County Fairgrounds. And we just completed the 2024 Manatee County Fair, and there was a lot of happy kids leaving there with their awards and so forth. So it does an awful lot for the agricultural communities. So it was a great event, but you got a regatta.
Yep, you got
Thank
a
you, Mayor.
regatta.
Thank you for bringing that
Mr.
up.
Chair, yes, I was going to bring up the regatta, obviously, February 17th. Takes up the whole day, closes the bridge between Palmetto and Bradenton, but also Friday night is going to be an event on Rossi Park, a little bit of a concert. The drone show is going to be Friday night to try to tie it down, and then obviously following the regatta is going to be the Pirates Fest that same night. So it's bringing a whole weekend together instead of just one. And I know a lot of our Main Street merchants, the regatta, they didn't get a lot from it at that point. But now with the Pirates Fest being the same night, it's really going to throw it together and bring people in to see what we can do. And I think that's important that we do it over the weekend now a little bit more. The bridge won't be closed Friday night, but the drone show hopefully will go, because when the regatta ended, there was like a 3 or 4 hour delay, and people, wouldn't stay. So we're thinking that's going to work out a lot better and go through it. And then just one final comment is with the convention center staying open during construction, I know I went to an event and there was some parking issues, but Elliot really jumped on that with his team and really figured it out. And I think that was important for the community to see that we don't have enough venues as it is, and to be able to keep that open during construction. It'd been a lot easier to just close it and not deal with it. But because of what you've done and kept that open, it was, and it was a granddaughter's cheerleading competition. So there was people from all over the state there, hundreds of teams in there, and it really was good to see that was able to be worked out and keep that going. So kudos on that.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. That's Anna Poole and her team worked hard. It's very artistic to figure out. And I tell you what, I really appreciate the board's commitment to allow us to keep it open, because there's an expense tied to that. But we have to serve the community, and this will be for another day. But, we've had some informal discussions, even Commissioner Turner and I, to start scouring around to either find an existing facility or build something new, sometime in the short term, a facility that's equivalent to the main arena size, so we can shift some of those community events out of the convention center to open up dates for out-of-town conventions. And that's a great problem to have, but we're already starting to have some informal dialogue to see how we want to go after it, and it's a big step forward. We can pull that off.
And I'd like to take this opportunity to invite everyone out to the Parish Heritage Day and Parade and Chili Cook-Off March 9th. So it's a great event for Parish. It has 3,000 to 4,000 people show up on that day, and of course it is involved with the Heritage Month of Manatee County. So just remember, March 9th.
Excellent. Is there anything else from the board? We're good? Thank you guys thank the board for helping me through my first day as chair. Much appreciated. And according to my calendar, we're kind of wrapping up on time regardless of Tony's presentation. This meeting is adjourned.